Hello there. In this video, I'm going back to my roots a little bit. Used to review smartwatches on this channel, cheap ones that I bought from AliExpress, often Apple Watch clones, looked a bit like Apple Watches, but actually were nothing like them. And in fact, one of my most successful videos on this channel is the GT08 smartwatch. I was shopping in a UK budget store called Poundland. The kind of USP of it used to be that everything in the shop was £1. And then basically because of inflation, they had to increase the prices and now everything isn't £1. But anyway, I was shopping in there and I happened to spot a smartwatch. The Vido Lifestyle smartwatch, and it's iOS and Android compatible. This was £16. So perhaps you want an Apple Watch but you can't afford one, or you're too cheap to buy one, or you disagree with giving too much money to multi-billion-pound corporations, then this £16 alternative might be the thing for you, you cheapskate. Crucially, is this any better than the smartwatches of sort of 6 to 8 years ago? You would hope so, wouldn't you? It's got an integrated multi-sports and sleep mode. Well, they all used to have that sort of thing. Basically, it's an activity monitor. Links with a phone to receive notifications. That could be quite useful. Alarm setting, great. Remote shutter. Okay, this is looking an awful lot like the features that these watches used to have. Blood pressure reader, estimated readings, blood oxygen reading. Actually, the more expensive of these smartwatches used to have those features. So, you know, maybe we're just getting the same thing, but it's just that little bit cheaper. You know, all the things you can do while you're wearing a watch. Yoga, drink a coffee, and cycling. That is good. On the back, smartwatch, do not dispose with household waste. Please recycle where blah, blah, blah. That's really boring. Okay. Let's open the box and take a look at the watch. The packaging is very simple. Okay, this is the charging cable. It's magnetic. So what happens is, if you just hold it the wrong way around, it won't stick to it properly. So that's quite a good protection mechanism. If you do it the right way around, bink, it just magnetically attaches. This is the manual. How to wear. The band is best worn above the ulnar styloid. Okay, which I think is probably the wrist. Adjust the size of the strap to fit the wrist. So then that's the only use of ulnar styloid throughout the entire instructions. Maybe they're having a little bit of a joke on us there. There's a whole host of things in here about not using the information from the watch to diagnose yourself or change your medication, and not putting the watch on people who can't consent to wear the watch. Makes it sound really quite dangerous. I'm pretty sure it's not that dangerous. Anyway, let's put that away and let's actually take a look at this watch. So the first thing is, I would call this an Apple Watch clone. Now, why would I call it an Apple Watch clone? Because I'm a lying idiot. Well, let's face it though, it does look an awful lot like an Apple Watch. As it'll turn out, a lot of the features are kind of imitating the kind of things you can do on an Apple Watch, but it's not actually claiming to be an Apple Watch, and the software on it isn't trying to look like the software on an Apple Watch. So it's not strictly an Apple Watch clone. The strap is kind of rubbery and quite pleasant. And the quality of this is actually all right compared to some of the watches I've seen before. And interestingly, the back of the watch is actually made of metal, quite a quality looking finish to it. And you can see that if you had that on your wrist, in fact, let me just put it on my wrist now. Actually, before we carry on, if you want this watch, leave a comment down below telling me why you would really like this watch. And then I will randomly select one of you to have it. I'll send you a message, you send me your address, and I shall send you this watch. And I'll try and peel off any disgusting orange arm hairs that have stuck to it, unless you want to keep them, because you intend to clone me and host your own Dr. Jake's YouTube channel. From a distance, people might think you've got some kind of Apple Watch on, to be honest, so I'm quite impressed by that. The screen, I notice, is quite dim. I wonder if that's the way that they claim that the battery life is longer than kind of usual for this sort of thing. But anyway, can you see that? Hopefully you can. You can see the screen automatically turns off as well. But actually that display ain't too bad, is it, to be honest? Nice and clear. You know, seriously, I mean, if you just want a simple pedometer smartwatch and 16 quid is your budget, actually I think this would be quite a good buy, really. If you hold this button down for 3 seconds, you get an immediate choice of 2 different watch screens, and actually from the app which accompanies this, and I've got it installed on my iPhone, you can install a load of other faces on the watch as well. You can choose which 2 you have on at any given time. I'll show you the app in a moment. It isn't actually a touch screen at all, it's just this button here. You operate the watch by pressing this button once to change choice, change selection, and then to confirm a selection you hold it for 3 seconds. So that's, you can see, enter the music mode there. On the complications on the front here, that's very annoying. We've got a battery indicator where the Bluetooth is on or off, date and time, and the number of steps we've done. So let's go through the menu. We've got the step counter, distance and calorific burning rate in the app. Put in your height, weight, age, sex, etc., and it gives you a guesstimate, a very guesstimate of how many calories you've burned. Right, let's go to the next thing. This is your heart rate monitor. If I hold this for a few seconds, it'll start to measure my heart rate. Hopefully all of a sudden it'll just say, yeah, you've got a heart rate of 10 beats per second. There we go. 69 beats per minute, 70, 98% oxygen, it's dropping a bit, and 104, 15 over 75. And the way that the blood pressure monitor actually works, you can see there's a little light on the bottom there which shines through your wrist into your veins and somehow uses that to measure these things. Okay, let's go on. Sports mode. You're meant to change the sports mode depending on what kind of activity you're doing. So steps, skipping, sit-ups, or returning. Returning is my favourite sport, actually. I don't know how clever this is, to be honest. It's supposed to measure those activities and sync that with the app. And also, the app claims that it can sync that information with, say, the Apple Health application as well, so you don't lose that information. Right, let's go back to weather. Now, somehow this hasn't got synced with the phone, which is a little bit of a pain. I'll have to check that out in a moment, but it's meant to tell you the temperature wherever you are. We've also got music mode. Now, this will actually play music not through the watch. You're controlling the music through your phone. And we've got more, which is really quite boring. We've got looking for, which will make your phone vibrate. So you can find your phone. Actually, that could be quite useful. Is that going to work if I do that now? Searching. Success. Success. Well, we all like success, don't we? Obviously, clearly, I don't understand what that particular mode does. This, I think, is possibly turning Bluetooth off and on, and this is the MAC address of the Bluetooth adapter. That will then take us back to the home screen. You can see it's very simple. It's got a few basic functions. It's comfortable to wear, probably all right as a pedometer. Quite interesting having the heart rate thing, but I don't know how accurate that actually is. For 16 quid, it's kind of worth a punt if you want to sort of just try it as a watch and see if you get on with it. Okay, so this is the app, and it's called Yoho. Bit of an odd name, if I'm honest. Anyway, this is the screen that summarises the pedometer information, so the number of steps you've done. We also get a profile where we can choose, I'm 20 years old, obviously, and 5.57 feet tall, etc. You can put your profile information in there. The devices that you've paired with. Interestingly, the watch is called an i5, according to this app. All a bit strange. Alert settings, so we can get notifications on the watch for all of these things, for calls, messages, and presumably other types of notifications. And we can make the watch vibrate, which is pretty good. Shake for selfie. So this will actually open the camera on your phone, and then if you shake the watch, it'll take a photo. So pretty useless feature, to be honest. Alarm, we can put alarm, so presumably the watch will vibrate. Find band, the watch is now vibrating. Great, that's useful. Features, sedentary reminder, so this will basically, if you don't move your arm very much, it'll tell you to get up and walk around. Wake screen on wrist raise, this is quite a useful feature. instead of having to press the button on the screen to find the time, you can just look at the watch, raise your arm a little bit, and it'll turn the screen on, which is quite good. Band display settings. So these are just a few, well actually these are all, of the custom screens you can have on your watch. You can choose any two of them. What happens if you press custom? Okay, you can choose any one of those 4 styles and put your choice of background on them. There we go, syncing. So weather basically shows you the temperature where you are and syncs that with the watch. And that's really it. That's what the app offers. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope you've enjoyed this strange blast from the past, a review of a smartwatch. Thank you to my loyal patrons who are scrolling down the screen now, especially George Foot, Jim McCaig, Jennifer Jones, Samir Al-Amar and Rob Van Eden, who are extremely generous patrons. Thank you very much indeed. Do subscribe if you enjoy my videos, and do remember to click the bell icon, and I shall see you next time for another video.